It's currently 6 p.m. right now, and I woke up an hour ago from a 3-hour nap because I've been up since 2 a.m. I've been wanting to make this video for a few weeks now because I have hinted before in my videos about my changing relationship with people with social media especially, and that's what I want to talk about here. As a 22, and I turned 23 on Saturday, as a 22-year-old young female, it is very stereotypical to be on social media. It's very common you see people aged 30 and younger that are staring at their phones for hours upon hours upon hours each day, and I used to be like that, and I feel like a lot of people have shared stories like this, but I want to share my perspective about things. My channel, actually my channel, the description is Insight into the World from a Young Adult. I want to start off at the beginning. All the way in 2012, Instagram just released for Android, and it was then just really taking off, and it was just starting to get really popular. I don't think Vine existed. So Instagram was like the social media. People were kind of like, Facebook, and that's like for old people now. Even 10 years ago. But Instagram was like the thing. And I kind of miss the old layout of Instagram, honestly. I kind of miss it. It was so simple. It was so simple and awesome. I had my first account, and I don't even remember the username of it. But I was just posting everything about my life. This is what I ate. This is the view of the snow when we would like go up from Palm Springs up to Mount Jacinta. And then I got my second Instagram account, and I don't remember when I made it, but I do have a screenshot of it if you want to see it. I'm just gonna Okay, I'm about to show a little thingy right here. It's ninja.mast. I don't know why I named it that. I think that was my 3DS username. Yeah, the 3DS, the flip thingy. Wow, 263 posts. That's actually not a lot. But gaming addict and always hungry. YouTuber. Even all that time ago. Photographer / visual designer, never turns down food. Dude, I was going through puberty during that time, and I would just eat anything that you gave me. And I grew, no shit, like a whole ass foot in like a year. It was insane. So that was my second Instagram account, and I do remember vividly when the Instagram stories, the stories for Instagram launched in like 2015, 2016. When did Instagram launch the Instagram stories?
According to Wikipedia, in August 2016, Instagram launched Instagram Stories, a feature that allows users to take photos.
So I liked Snapchat because I liked the way that you could share the story. That you could just document your day as it's happening and share photos and videos, and it's gone in 24 hours. It was kind of like a vlog, but it was like very short form content, very everyday sort of thing, and you didn't have to edit through a video app or anything. It actually, I feel like Snapchat was the one that pioneered the vertical layout of consuming content, and then of course Vine, Snapchat pioneered it first, and then Vine, and then Vine became Musical.ly, and then Musical.ly became TikTok as it is today. Yeah. And then I remember for a time in my youth when I was a teenager, from I'd say 15 or 16 to like 17, for like almost a whole ass year, I had a flip phone. I had like a Verizon Kyocera flip phone that's like can make a phone call from fucking Afghanistan type shit. Like I had that kind of flip phone. I couldn't text because you had to like press these buttons so much. no wonder they had the slogan "Don't text and drive" back in 2005, because you have to like beep beep beep. You have to like press the 4 button 8 million times just to get like an E or some shit. I had to go back just to a smartphone, and I kind of miss the days when I had a flip phone, honestly. Because if you wanted to reach me, the best way to do so was to just call me. Just straight up, even if it was like a 30-second phone call, just call me. And it was great because I could hear your voice and say love you bye on every single phone call. And I feel like when you text someone, the way you send a text message like with a period or with a certain emoji, it could be interpreted the wrong way, whereas like if you were to talk to someone through the phone, you can hear what they're trying to say with the inflection of their voice. So this leads to my third Instagram account. This is the account I have right now. It's just Cora Delta. You don't have to follow it. I don't give a shit. This is it. Yeah, that's it. I took the Instagram story to the next level. So you can see all my story highlights. Here, I wonder if I can. You can see all my, let's zoom in. So you can see all my story highlights all the way from the fucking beginning. You can see my exact first story if you wanted to. The first photo added to this. What up, my boys? That's it. Is that a DS? Colleen, is that a DS?
Yeah?
Colleen, is that a DS?
Yeah?
So that was in February 2018. Let me zoom back out. Oh, okay, that was in February 2018. We went to One Act Theater, State. We went to State for that, for One Act Theater. I transitioned from a flip phone to like a real phone in like October 2017. So for like almost a solid 6 months, I just didn't have social media. And I was like, you know what? I'll just re-download Instagram. Whatever. I'll just re-download Instagram. So then I had Instagram and I was uploading the story, and it was like an addiction. It was like an internal game for me of how amazing and awesome can I make my life. And it was like, how many followers can I get as fast as soon as possible? And I was living in this little tiny town of South Dakota at the time. And the Instagram story for me was, you have to capture everything. Phone eats first. Pictures or it didn't happen. That was the type of mentality I had. And then I remember I had different breaks on and off and on and off and on and off. And then I think I just came to some sort of realization, and at beginning of this year, 2023, I was like, I don't think people give a shit. And the honest truth is, people don't. And what helped me come to that realization was out of a random curious thought, I was wondering, what happened to the Dolan twins? Remember them? Do you remember them or not? They made a lot of video collaborations with Emma Chamberlain, and I was like, yeah, they were a big popular thing. And then they just stopped making YouTube videos. And part of that reason was because I believe their father or grandfather passed away, and they were just looking at their life and thinking, what are we doing? What are we doing with our lives? And I think that they felt like they were missing out on some like real, genuine, face-to-face stuff. And they just stopped. And that's why I struggle with making videos, actually, is because when I'm going through life, the last thing I think about now is I should take my camera out, or I should take my phone out and take a picture or record this. Because I used to be, again, that phone eats first, that pictures or it didn't happen kind of person. Whereas now, and I challenge you to do this. If you're watching this, I challenge you to do this. Go out and watch the sunset. And don't even bring your phone with you. Don't even take your phone out to take a photo. Don't take your phone out to scroll anything. Just sit there with you, or maybe you and a friend or loved one, in front of the sunset for about a half hour, and just sit there. Just sit there. Can you do that? Can your mind literally just relax? Can your mind just be and just relax? Because that's how life was for everyone 10 years ago, and before that till the beginning of time. These devices, these phones, they're just meant to make our lives better.
So the CEO of Apple is saying, don't pick up your phone as much?
I'm saying we made the phone not so that you'll use it all the time. We made the phone to make your life better. But for me, my simple rule is, if I'm looking at the device more than I'm looking into someone's eyes, I'm doing the wrong thing.
It's our calendar. We can make phone calls, instant message people. It's our, if we have a question about anything, hey Google, what is the square root of pi? When it recognizes your voice. It's a flashlight. I mean, it's everything in one. But if you're looking at this glass screen more than you're looking at someone else's face, I think that you are on this thing too much. You might be saying, oh, well, it's not the people who make the phones, it's the people who make the software of the phones. I don't think they sure they make the apps engaging and fun, but it's ultimately up to us as the individual people who consume the apps and use the apps of how we have a relationship to it. So I had to really look at myself and point the finger at myself rather than say, oh, you made this app so addicting. Oh, you put the code in so addicting, I can't stay away from it. Rather, I'm the one who downloaded the app. I'm the one who created the account. I'm the one who willingly posts. Back in the early days of the internet, like before I was even born, like the 90s, the mentality was, you don't share anything online. You have an avatar, you have a username, and it's like your alternative life. And on like mass multiplayer online games or like chat rooms, like you don't share anything about your life. Now, somehow, somewhere, that has slowly shifted to you share everything about your life. You share everything online, which is scary because in January, I just kind of had enough of it. And I had a bit of on and off and on and off. Sometimes I feel like I wish I had taken more photos, and sometimes I feel like I wish I would have taken less photos. What my mentality is now is that I wish I would take photos more intentionally. There are some photos that I have taken on the spur of the moment that are just some of the best photos that I love. I love some of the photos I take, and I just think they're so beautiful and so raw and so emotional. And there are some photos that I take of like this food I ate at a restaurant XYZ years ago, and I'm like, I just did that just to flex on the Instagram story. I never actually gave a shit about this meal, you know? And I want to lean more towards the intentional photo taking, which is what you've seen in my last video, Poignant, when I was in San Diego. It was hard for me to record just because it's kind of awkward having a DSLR camera like I'm not David Dobrik or anything like that. It is easier just to 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, take a photo. And boom, you have a 4K photo within like 5 seconds. And the final, I think, person who really gave me a new perspective was when I was in San Diego. I met this friend, and she told me her relationship with social media. I believe I said this before in a video. She literally does not have any social media. No, she doesn't have Facebook. She doesn't have, what's something else that everyone has? She doesn't even have a Facebook, no Instagram. She doesn't have a TikTok, nothing. She does not have anything. Completely offline. I was like, wow, like she's 23, and I was like, what in the world? She used to be somewhat of like a like a micro-influencer. Micro-influencer. She used to be a bit of a micro-influencer when she was in Hawaii, and she would like post photos for local companies, and they would give her like free pasta, for example. And she was all about the gram as well, like I was. And she just shared with me how it just wasn't good for her. And the way she said it, and I kind of want to keep that personal to me for now, but the way she said it, it just really impacted me. And I thought, you know why I did social media and was on social media was just to make myself more appealing to other people. I mainly did it just because I wanted to be able to have people think that I'm a really awesome, cool person, so that way I could just have friends. Just so I could have friends, and that was why. To give future lovers or partners an idea of who I am when you're swiping left, right on Tinder, and I put my little Instagram. That's the reason why I did it, and I realized there's so much more to people than just like a grid or a story. You might be thinking, we know this, I know this, you know this, we've all known this, and we all say this, but it's one thing to internalize it in a different way, and I'm still going through that. I want to show you this screenshot I took of my time on social media, and it just gives a little highlight of, on the weekends I'm on social media a little more, but during the week I'm like not on it at all. And I'll put it right here. I'll put it right here. And you can see on Sunday I was on it for a bit. I'd say that's probably like an hour. And then like at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, daily average 26 minutes. And the reason why I've really cut down is because I have Instagram give me a reminder to get off of social media every 10 minutes. And then a daily time limit of half an hour. You really don't need to be on Instagram much more than that. I don't need some sort of inspiration. I don't need anything to push me or motivate me. All that is in here. All that is on this wall. All that has been on that wall for years. And I'm not looking for some sort of fitness motivation, because I have that right there. I'm not looking for photography motivation, because I have that right there. I'm not looking for painting art motivation, because I have that right there. I'm not looking for yoga motivation, because that's right there. I'm on it to keep up with friends. And this might be the last topic I have is filtering out who you keep in your life. I used to follow over 400 people on Instagram, and now I literally follow 69. Nice. And I don't really, how do I say it in a nice way? I'll just say it what I want to say. I don't really care about some people's lives anymore. I just don't anymore. Some people, I only needed them in my life. I only needed them in my life for like 3 months when I was in Idaho. And it's like, well, I haven't talked to them in like over 3 months now, and almost a year since then. So it's like, why do I still follow them? No one comments on my photos. And honestly, I feel like I could compress that 69 following to like 49. You meet people all the time. For example, what do you do when you go to a concert? For example, I'm going to see Odessa next week. So what do you do when you go to a concert and then you meet some people and it's like, hey, what's your Instagram? Very common thing to say. Oh, here's my Instagram. Oh my God, you're verified. Oh, wow. Yes, I'm verified. And I like oogle over my blue check and like, follow me. I usually don't. or after the show or after a week, I'll unfollow them unless they're super duper cool and I can sort of read their spirit. How do I look on the camera? It's starting to get dark. You can see it's starting to get dark. So I think that it's better to have just a few, like 10, 20, 30 is a lot, but like 10 to 20 just really close, tight people in your life, rather than have hundreds of people who just like meh. Because you only have so much energy, and each person just gets like a little bit, whereas if you have like hundreds of people in your life, and then that gets really smaller, if that makes sense. I don't really know exactly what the point of this video was about. I just wanted to talk about my relationship with social media and how it's changed and how I'm on it way less often. I want to talk about how I have been on it since I was a teenager. And all my whole entire teenage life and young adulthood, it's just been so prevalent. And it dominates Western culture, essentially. And I have a new and updated view on it, a new and updated approach to how I post, how I share. If you do feel so inclined to find me on Instagram, that'd be awesome. And I honestly, I've said this since the beginning videos, like I don't expect any of that. I don't expect to subscribe. I don't really ask people to subscribe or like, just because I feel uncomfortable saying it. I feel uncomfortable asking it. I'll just let people do it if they feel inclined to do it. But that's the rest of that's all for me today. That scared me. The sun's setting, and you see the changes in the video as things were slowing down. A little exercise I want to give to you is I want you to look at your following list. And I want you to scroll down, and with each and every account, I want you to ask yourself, is this person inspiring me creatively, physically, spiritually? Does this person bring value into my life? Straight up. Do I even care about this person anymore? And just listen to what your intuition says. Listen to what your mind says. And if you don't want to follow them on Instagram, but you still want to keep a relationship with that person, like keep communication with that person, then get their phone number. It's insane. I have way less phone numbers than I used to. And I don't really talk to my friends anymore. And being here in Tucson has made me so removed from so much social life. And I just really reconsidered everyone I had in my life and everyone that I will have in my life in the future. So think about that.